you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and it's okay to start from the bottom and make your way up. Medical assisting was definitely my choice because I would be doing the roles that I would be doing as a nurse. Like, compared to a normal college track, gave me more freedom, flexibility compared to a normal college course where I would be probably drowning in debt, probably taking a lot more longer to get my certificate than I would using.
So I recently had a chat with Georgia to learn more about her story, and I'm sharing our entire conversation with you today. Imagine going from zero to hired medical assistant in as little as 4 months without going back to school, without spending thousands of dollars on tuition, without student loans or financial aid, and without putting your life on hold for 2 years. This is exactly what Georgia did. And this could be you. So guys, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why Georgia decided to become a medical assistant, what she did to land a job as a medical assistant in just a few months, and more importantly, how you could do the same thing. So let's jump straight into my conversation with Georgia. Hey, Georgia, it is a pleasure to have you. And so, by the way, where are you at in the country?
I'm in Locust Grove, Georgia.
One of my favorite places. My wife and I went to Georgia and drove all the way through the South. It was incredible. So, Georgia, I've been so excited to speak with you because your story just resonates with so many people out there. Medical assisting is such a hot career. So many people are looking to get their foot into healthcare, to be in a growing industry, to get that job satisfaction of working within a medical team. And at the same time, they're not really sure on how to get started or how to become one. So I think this is gonna be a great show, as I think they will love to hear your story and have some really good action items to get started as well. All right, so let's just dive in and get started with this. Georgia, before starting your medical assistant career, maybe you could just start by telling us, what were you doing? What were your career goals? What were your ambitions?
I was in high school. I took healthcare classes. I grew up going to the doctors a lot. I knew I wanted to work in healthcare, that it was my passion. I got my CNA license while I was in high school. I started college and I didn't really know how to get my foot in the door, so I started researching jobs I could do. I started as an optometry tech for a little bit, decided eye care wasn't really my passion either. Then I found that I could do a medical assistant while being in college and having animals, being engaged, all the crazinesses of life. And I realized that I could actually do this at my own pace and work at home and just be able to have that flexible education while being in school enrolled full time. And that's how I got here. And now I'm working as a pediatric medical assistant, doing everything I needed to do. And now I know that pediatrics is really my passion. And again, I'm in college for nursing, so it's just a perfect step in the door to get me there.
Wow, so you were actually in school to be a nurse. You were working in optometry tech, so you're already working in the field, but you then decided that you wanted to become a nurse. So that's super interesting, because I think a lot of people want to become a nurse, and yet they feel that they just have to be in school this whole time. So one question for you would be, what prompted you to want to become a medical assistant in the meantime while you're working to become a nurse?
I definitely wanted to get my experience in, and my fiance's mom was actually a medical assistant, and she told me that it was just a step above a CNA and that you have a more range of roles that give you experience, things that you'll be doing as a nurse, vaccines, blood draws, clinical staff, the charting, everything is just a perfect step to what a nurse does. And you get the experience that way. When I do get to my nursing classes in college, that I will be ahead. I'll know a lot more than probably most people starting out will. So I knew that medical assisting was definitely my choice because I would be doing the roles that I would be doing as a nurse.
Wow, you just said it perfectly. Like when I talk, because I talk with a lot of people who want to become a medical assistant, and I think what you said there was really the key thing, which was that by starting out as a medical assistant, you already get to start working in the field. You're, like you said, you're taking blood, you're doing vitals, you're actually doing the patient work that you intend on doing, that you want to be doing. And that's very gratifying on your pathway to becoming a nurse or a PA or something like that. So it sounds like that's exactly the same thing that you were looking to do. Okay, so to become a medical assistant, you need training. What type of program were you looking for?
So in my search, I was definitely looking for a program that was flexible, something that I could do my schoolwork, anything training, everything at my own pace. It was very hard to find a program that didn't require you to be at certain meetings at certain times, have assignment due dates, and some just had more hardness to our daily lives as an adult compared to the ones I found that I really liked. It's hard to find something that is flexible with your daily life. In times right now, things are expensive, so it was really hard to find something that was perfect for me within my time frame and my monetarily frame.
I totally get it. Right. Like, the fact that, most people have to work while they're in school. And so, you can't just stop everything and go to a campus program for 2 years, put your whole life on pause. And plus, people don't want student debt any longer. And that's a big factor too. It's just the fact that, yeah, I don't want to have to take out a bunch of financial aid or student loans, things like that.
Yes, definitely. Especially when you're already in college. Just adding on top of that, it gets really expensive. Things are already expensive, and just being a college student in general is very hard to do. So it's definitely hard finding something that's perfectly in your frame of budget and time.
All right, so then Georgia, can you finally share which program you ultimately chose and, what you liked about it?
I chose Preppy as my final choice. It was in my monetary budget, which is perfect for me as a college student. And then Preppy has everything done at your own pace. Any assignments, discussions, videos, modules, everything was completely at my own pace, which made it easy for me to have a normal at-home life while being able to be in school and work.
Awesome. So, by the way, could you help maybe describe to the viewers what the training experience was like with Preppy?
So Preppy offered me videos that presented what we were about to learn about, and then after the video, which goes in great depth of everything that you're learning about and helps you give that visual perspective, there were then modules that broke down each thing into categories. So if you didn't understand something, you could go back to the main category, which helped you understand the subcategory that you're learning. So the breaking down definitely helps someone that just needs to take everything step by step, and it helps visual learners, auditory learners, all of that, because it has something for everything. After the modules, then there will be discussions and then sometimes assignments. While the assignments and discussions are completely up to you if you want to do, I will say they definitely help you if you participate in them.
That's amazing, because you're right. A lot of those extra assignments, you're right, they're totally optional, but you get so much value if you do the work. So question for you, how long did it take you to finish the program?
So I currently work a job 8 to 5 and I get a 1 hour lunch break. In the afternoons, I actually do night college to get my nursing degree. So with Preppy, I would do it in between my lunches and my schooling. So Preppy took me about maybe 2.5 months to get through, but it was perfect for my timing.
Wow, that is incredibly fast. Part of what's so amazing about your story is just how quickly you're able to finish the program, despite this huge workload and the fact that you are in school to become a nurse. And Preppy then prepare you for the CCMA exam to become a certified clinical medical assistant.
So yes, I actually took my CCMA exam like a month after I took my course and finished. I passed my CCMA exam, so that's good news. I felt fully prepared for my exam. Preppy touched bases with everything that was on the exam. Phlebotomy, EKGs, vaccines, everything was on the exam that fully prepared me for it. Any questions that I had were in the assignments that I did. Anything that I was concerned about or had questions was always in the videos, so I felt fully prepared and I did successfully pass the exam.
Wow, congratulations. I mean, that is amazing. Look, you were able to, in a very short amount of time, get prepared, pass the certification exam first try, despite the fact you're at school, despite the fact you got a full-time job. Hats off to you. That is a big step in your career. So then to summarize, 2 to 3 months, you finished the program, you took the CCMA, you got the certification right afterwards. And then from what you told me, you're now working in the field as a clinical medical assistant.
Yes, I am. I'm actually in pediatrics currently. While I'm a clinical medical assistant, I also do administrative tasks, so answering phones, charts, sending emails, faxing, everything in between. I do both clinical and administrative, while I'm also doing one-on-one care with patients in the room. I do EKGs, phlebotomy, vaccines, you name it, I do it. I actually got my passion for pediatrics from constantly being in a pediatric office when I was a kid. I had a lot of bone growth issues and everything, so it definitely gave me a passion for what I'm doing now.
Well, that is so awesome that you're working in pediatrics. So question for you, were there other job offers? Did you have other options working in pediatrics and in other fields, and you ultimately chose pediatrics?
Yes, I did have many job offers. I had orthopedic, geriatrics, many others, but I did choose pediatrics as my final choice.
Wow, well, that is awesome. So this is a really cool thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you're a clinical medical assistant, you can always, one, the job is interesting in and of itself. But the really cool thing is that you get to, specialize in clinics just like what you did, right? You can go work at a pediatric clinic. You can go work in a geriatric clinic. And so you constantly have these opportunities that are providing all of this change and specialization for you to grow within the career.
Yes, it is very interesting at how many actual specialties there are. Because when I was job searching, I really didn't realize how wide of a door there is for specialties. If there is something like part of your body in anatomy, there is a job for it for medical assistants. Cardiology, neurology, everything, there is something there.
Wow, that is really cool. And I'm sure a lot of this also was very helpful with your nursing degree.
Yes, definitely. I'm actually in school currently, so while I'm doing my assignments and coursework and talking to peers and teachers, I do feel well ahead compared to my other peers that just got into nursing, as I didn't have prior experience or clinicals, schooling, etc. So it's very interesting to see how much ahead I am compared to others.
Well, Georgia, that is seriously amazing. Like, I think that most people want to become a nurse or a PA. And what you just described is that, once you become a medical assistant, you are so much further ahead. Like you can have a whole career working as a medical assistant, like everything we spoke about, going into all of these different specializations. But then, like you said, you are so much further along when you then choose to go to nursing school, if you decide to, which you're doing. You're living that dream that so many people have.
Yes, definitely. And I'll talk to many of my peers, and they're like, I didn't even know that medical assisting or nursing assisting was an option. And I'll discuss with them how Preppy definitely influenced my life, as I feel so much ahead. Like, I can't even put into words how much this program has assisted me, not only in just my education, but in my daily life and being able to change other people's lives.
So, Georgia, looking back, how do you feel about Preppy and how it compared to, let's say, going down a traditional college path?
Life changing. Preppy, like compared to a normal college track, gave me more freedom, flexibility. I have a perfect work school life compared to a normal college course where I would be probably drowning in debt, probably taking a lot more longer to get my certificate than I would using Preppy.
Georgia, this was really interesting to hear your story and the fact that you're, pioneering this pathway. And, one thing I would ask you is that if you were talking to someone who wanted to get into healthcare, what would be the advice that you would give them? Like, what would be the steps that they should take to do it?
Some advice I would give is do not be afraid to fly. It is so scary in this generation and economy and just time of world to just take the next step. My generation is very discouraged. People tend to put us down, but don't be afraid to succeed. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and it's okay to start from the bottom and make your way up. Even if you help out at a nursing home, get your CNA, get your medical assistant, just take those stepping stones to get to the next portion. It is completely okay to fail, and is completely okay to take the next step. Do not be afraid and do not let others put you down.
I wish everybody who was in a career that they don't love, was in a place in their lives that they didn't love, could hear your words right now to give them that inspiration that it's totally possible. I mean, really, you're living that dream, you're living that life. That was amazingly well said. And that's partly why we're doing this, right? Part of the reason I wanted to interview you and talk with you is because the path that you've taken and what you're doing is so exceptional. So, thank you so much. This has been so great to have you on, to interview you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So guys, you just heard from Georgia and how the Preppy approach helped her land a job as a medical assistant in just 4 months. I really wanted to share the conversations with all of you because I was sure many of you would completely relate to Georgia. You could be in medical school or nursing school or a complete beginner and looking for that crucial clinical experience that medical assisting provides. Maybe you just discovered this career and you're thinking that this could be that ideal pathway to land a healthcare job without spending years in college. Or perhaps you're just working in a completely different field, but you've always wanted to transition into healthcare where you can actually help people and make a real difference in people's lives. You might be a stay-at-home parent ready to get back into the workforce with a stable and rewarding career. Or maybe you're just tired of those dead-end jobs and want something with real growth potential and real job security. Well, no matter where you're starting from, I love medical assisting because it could be your fastest way into healthcare, a career where you can start making a real difference in people's lives right away. And with the Preppy approach, you could get started towards this career in as little as 4 months, not years, months. Now compare that to a traditional college that could cost you up to $20,000, take 2 long years to complete, force you to drive to campus multiple times a week, and make you put your entire life on hold just to get that same outcome. So to get started with the Preppy approach, all you need to do is enroll in Preppy's Medical Assistant Training Program. Here's everything you get with Preppy. 100% online, self-paced training that you could complete in as little as 4 months. A certificate of completion from a prestigious, accredited university. You're ready for CCMA certification. Eligibility for an externship opportunity to gain hands-on clinical experience. Job assistance services. All of this is for just $15.99, a fraction of what those traditional programs cost. Georgia was just one example of our success stories. Preppy has helped students like Tasha, Shannon, and countless others start towards their dream careers in healthcare. And you could be our next success story. So click on the link below to check out Preppy's medical assistant program and get started today. The link will be in the description and pinned in the comments as well. When you click the link below, you'll be directed to our course page and you can complete your enrollment online to start right away. You can also chat with our amazing support team if you've got any questions related to the program. All right, well, that's all for today's video. If this conversation with Georgia inspired you or showed you a path that you didn't even know existed, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to see it. And drop a comment below if you've got any questions about Preppy or if you were able to relate to Georgia's story. I love to hear from you. And make sure to subscribe for more real student stories and insights on starting healthcare careers faster. This was Grant. I'll see you next video. Take care.